Yo, what's going on, guys? So, a hot topic out here in these streets lately has been critical race theory. And for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with critical race theory, it's pretty much just a load of crap. It's pretty much another one of these things that wants to blame white people for everything bad that's ever happened in this world. And it basically says that your race is your entire identity, that you'll receive some sort of racism in every single interaction you have with another person. If you're white, you're pretty much born racist in the eyes of these types of people who believe this junk. And if you're not white, the whole system is apparently rigged against you. Which, don't get me wrong, there are some nuanced situations here where critical race theory could probably be applied and make some sort of sense. But that doesn't mean we just blanket it and deem every single white person evil and every single minority a victim. I mean, how ridiculous is that sort of line of thinking? And it's not just like uneducated buffoons pushing this sort of propaganda. You actually have a lot of very educated people pushing for this critical race theory. And the one kind of spearheading this whole thing seems to be this NYC psychiatrist, Dr. Aruna Kalanani, who said she fantasized about shooting white people at a Yale School of Medicine lecture. She also said that white people make her blood boil and are out of their minds and have been for a long time. And I actually have a video I'm going to be watching with you guys today. She actually went in an interview on this news network called DNC Go. And as far as I know, she made herself look like an absolute clown. So we're going to check that out. I'm going to give my live reaction. This is kind of like a new style of video I'm trying, more like a Aba and Preach style. So shout out to those guys. Totally buying your style. Yeah, let's get right to it.
There are no good apples out there. White people make my blood boil. When you say there are no good apples out there, what kind of claim are you making?
I'm talking about people have this idea that racism is something that if you're consciously racist or if you're a Klan member, and I'm sort of making the claim that racism is something that is unconscious and it is actually in everyone, and everyone uses these words systemic. They're like, I know that racism is systemic, and yet individually when you call them out, they'll be like, well, it's not me, you can't say that.
So let's really think about what she just said there. She basically said everyone has racism inside themselves. Every day you take action on that racism without consciously knowing it for most people. And so she's almost saying like it's not a white person's fault if they're racist. That's just how it is. That's almost just like something that was inside of them. Which is so ignorant, to suggest that every single person from a single race is racist. I don't know, I just don't think that line of thinking is ever gonna get us very far as a society. This already sounds like some too woke type bullshit for me.
And so there's a disconnect between use of the word systemic and saying that racism is everywhere, but the moment you point it out individually, there's sort of people disown their own violence and racism.
Would it be fair to say, based on your expertise, that white people are psychopathic?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think that there's many lies that, and didn't get to that part because what I delivered was only part of a first series of talks. But the level of lying that white people do that has started since colonialism, we're just used to it.
It's funny that some people really like to do this thing where they act like white people were the only ones to ever do some really fucked up shit. In other countries, they were enslaving people as well. In other countries, they were treating people like shit based on their skin color. It's not like everyone else in the world was just non-violent. I mean, this was a savage time. There's a time when full villages of people would literally get conquered and murdered and just mass genocide everywhere, and I promise you it wasn't just white people. I mean, they really just happened to take the W's at that time. But to suggest that every single white person in the current day is responsible for their ancestors' actions is really just an insane line of thinking, no? It's important we remember history, but we can't interact in the modern day based on what happened, 50, even 100 years ago.
Such as every time that you steal a country, you loot, you say you've discovered something. I mean, this level of lie is actually part of history. We don't say that we killed all these people, we got rid of all the Native Americans. We say we discovered America.
I mean, I don't know what history classes she went to, But in every like college level history class and every like actually upper level history class, they teach you the real shit. You know, I know here in Texas in our public education, they're like, oh yeah, Christopher Columbus, he was a nice guy. You know, he showed the Native Americans his nice guns. They even had Thanksgiving together. He wasn't that bad. And then one day he told them they had to get the fuck off his land. And they just agreed. Like, I get where she's coming from that standpoint, but I feel like as you become an adult, as you get a little bit older, it's your responsibility to educate yourself on those sort of things. And while some of our past history is very much romanticized, there's some very good documentation of the trials and tribulations all these other people who got conquered had to go through. It sounded like people just generally accepted it was some walk in the park.
Talk about the level of death. You don't talk about the level of what actually occurred. You wipe the slate clean, you sanitize the violence, and you actually got lost along the way. You're trying to go to India, and then you say you discovered something. And this level of discovery is everywhere. You've discovered vegetarianism. You know, you've discovered yoga, you've discovered everything is a discovery, and it's all actually stolen.
Yeah, so she's basically here to say that white people basically stole everything and put it in this country and acted like they invented it. And she has some serious gripe probably with like cultural appropriation and things like that. And my main argument against her is that everyone who has the same skin color or the same race isn't necessarily going to have the same life experience. For instance, I'm from Texas, right? So I'm a lot more likely to have something in common with a black person or even a white person from down south than I would be from up north. Nothing to do with race, but everything to do with where we were born, what type of socioeconomic conditions we grew up in. These types of things are much more important than race, as well as probably hundreds of other things that really affect you on a deeper level. Were your parents alcoholics? Did you have some sort of trauma growing up? I mean, there's a lot of different things that affects people's lives. And to chalk it all up as some sort of black and white mess is really just bullshit to me. And I don't think that any minority group is going to get anywhere by having a victim mentality. That's always what I believed. That's really where the left side loses me in most debates, when they try and like self-victimize themselves. I don't really like that. But let me know what you guys think. I can't believe that there's actually educated people pushing this perspective. But hey, if you believe something, you will find other people out there who agree with you. Guess that's just kind of the beauty of the internet. But let me know what you guys think about this situation down below, as well as let me know what you guys think about the new format. Probably not perfect to start out with, but it's something I'm going to be working on. And don't worry, I am still going to be making more traditional style commentary videos, but I figured this would be kind of cool. Thought maybe some of y'all would like it. So let me know what y'all think. I look forward to seeing y'all's feedback. As always, I do appreciate y'all for watching and subscribing today. And as y'all know, it's been your boy, the Tan Superman, and I'm out. Peace.